Ferrari, one of truly the greatest supercar companies of all time. As of recently, I don't think they've been doing so hot. Anyone who follows me on either here or my Instagram knows that I've talked some smack about Ferrari fairly recently. Whether it be their EVs, 6-cylinder hypercars, this thing, or the 12-cylinder's name, I've had some negative opinions about it. But actually, I do really like Ferrari, so I want to kind of change it up a little bit. I wanted to go back and look at what I believe is Ferrari's greatest era. Just the time of their career where they're making some of the best and coolest cars ever, whilst also still giving a huge variety to what they're building. So enough dawdling, let's get right into it. To do this, I figured it had to be an era that had one of the F cars. There's been more expensive cars in Ferrari's history, but the F cars were always just the wild ones. The ones that people just absolutely lust over, and the ones that'll never go out of style. Which means we need to start at 1987. In 1987, we got the Ferrari F40, one of the most loved F cars Ferrari's ever built. But along with that, we had the Testarossa, the 308, I think a 208, in addition to the Mondial. Now, as much as someone's going to look at that and say it is the best lineup ever, number of cars that make under 250 horsepower, everything is mid-engine, which isn't a problem, but I am kind of looking at diversity to see what Ferrari's really capable of. So despite there is some incredible cars in here, I don't think 1987 is the year. Which brings us to 1995. 1995, of course, we have the Ferrari F50. The F car, which for a long time was kind of like the less loved one or the unloved one, all things said and done. But people have really come around to it. Now they cost an absolute fortune. Ferrari's race car for the road, the rear suspension bolted directly to the transmission. These things were cool. In its lineup though, it still had the Testarossa, and now have the 355, which gorgeous car. And along with that, they had their first front-engine V12 car in a long time, being the 456. Now this is an awesome lineup. The 355 is a massive improvement to the 348. Again, the first front-engine V12 car in like 2 decades or something. And still having the Testarossa, which at this point is starting to get a little bit old, but also it's a pretty iconic car. Great lineup. As much as I do love the 355, I think there are better entry-level V8 Ferraris. The 456 is so important, but it's not my favorite Ferrari ever. And again, the Testarossa is starting to get a little bit old at this point. Awesome lineup. I wouldn't criticize anyone for liking these past 2 lineups, but it's not quite the one for me. 2003, we got the Enzo. The Enzo was the first F car not to be called an F car. It was called the Enzo instead of the F60, but it looks crazy. It sounded amazing. I think it's still one of the most striking F cars out there, and it was in pretty damn good company, being alongside the 360, the 550. Now, some may call that the perfect lineup, and I'd have a hard time arguing against them, but I think I have one better. It may be obvious at this point that I'm not a huge fan of Ferrari's current lineup, especially after they dropped the SP3 Daytona being, in my opinion, one of the best modern Ferraris ever. So in my opinion, it's 2015. 2015, we had the LaFerrari, one of the most striking Ferraris ever made, a mid-engine V12 Ferrari that sounds incredible. And some people might not like the hybrid system, which fair enough long-term, but it hits every single note a V12 F Ferrari needs to. In addition to that, it's the final year of the 458 Italia. The 458 Italia was the last high-revving mid-engine V8 naturally aspirated Ferrari ever built, which yes, the F8, the 488 are faster cars, absolutely. I have actually been in a 488, it was a lot of fun, but the Italia is just cooler. Also, I think Ferrari kind of loved that chassis because they proceeded to use it on the next 2 cars. And I think that whole thing of being naturally aspirated just gives it that slight edge to me. In addition to that, they have the California T, a 4-seater convertible turbo front-engine V8 Ferrari. Prior to the California, those were words that were never said before. And also, the California T just had way sharper lines and looked way more aggressive than the California that was brought out in 2009. So it may not be everyone's favorite, but I think it's absolutely worth talking about, and generally a super cool car. You also had the F12, the predecessor to the incredible 599, but the building blocks of the 812 Superfast. This thing was dope. I think its biggest criticism ended up being the front fenders. Oh no. It made over 700 horsepower. It sounded like this. And the 12 cylindry may be faster, maybe a lot faster actually. It'll never look as good as this car. In addition to that, you have the black sheep of the Ferrari lineup being the FF. I did a video recently where I talked pretty positively of the FF, saying it's being one of the incredible future bargain cars. So you can pick these things up for like 80 grand in America. Car that makes almost 700 horsepower, it's all-wheel drive, it's 4 seats, it has the most cargo space of any Ferrari ever built. It's still designed by Pininfarina. Yeah, it may not be the most reliable car in the world, it's still damn cool. So you have your mid-engine V12 F hypercar. You have the greatest mid-engine entry-level Ferrari ever made. You have the California one, which adds absolute best. You have the F12, which I don't really feel like I need to explain why. And you have the FF, which may be the black sheep, but it is damn cool and way more unique than a lot of the other Ferraris. And I think that is the best Ferrari lineup ever. But as always, I want to know, what do you think? Do you agree with me in saying that is the best Ferrari lineup? And if not, I want to know what year you would say Ferrari was at its peak if you don't think it's right now. And in addition to that, if you like this video and you want to see more, let me know. I'd love to do this on another manufacturer, but frankly, it was a lot of fun to put together. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, enjoy what you've seen. I tend to post a couple times a week, and I'll see you later.